Okay guys, we did 3 videos. Before we do number 4, we're gonna have a series of quick little tips. Most of your questions are on dough, so we're gonna do a whole video on how to fix dough once you mess it up. What do you do when you tear it? All kinds of fun stuff like that. But, quick tip, let's fast forward all the way to the end. How do you cut a pizza? We told you in the second video, you gotta have one of these. You don't look cool in front of your friends and family if you cut a pizza with one of those big chopper knives or a steak knife. Unacceptable. You gotta get a regular old pizza cutter. So, what we're gonna do is, we have, it's Saturday night, you guys all, I tell you, I work on Saturday nights, we had to have a couple celebrity guests. There'll be others before we're done. They're about to go to college, so they're a little silly, so fun to work with them on a Saturday night. But here we got 2 pies. These are gonna be slices. So the dinner rush is gonna be 15 minutes from now, a couple of slices. This is how I teach these youngsters, so I can teach you. Your pizza comes out, get your cutter. What you want to do, find the center right in front of you. I'm at an angle because of the video. Right in front of your belly. Mine's bigger than most of yours because I make pizza. Get your cutter right in front. What you want to do is look where you want to end up. So start in the middle, look where you want to end up. There you go. All right, I'm going to spin it for the video, the magic of an iPhone. So next cut, this is how you want to do it. Get in front of you, the center, and what you want to do, here's the trick we tell all the kids. Don't look all the way to the end on the second and for the rest of your cuts. Look in the middle. Where do you want to go? So you want to start here, go to your middle, now look where you want to end up. If you do that, you're not going to have, slices all different sizes. If you're a golfer, you're not going to slice it. Pun intended, pun intended. So, right in front of you, look to the middle, hit the middle. Where do you want to end up? Hit the end. In the middle, look to the center. Where do you want to end up? It's almost like I had one of those chopper fancy knives, but we do it old school, the real way, with one of these. All right? So, once you've been doing it for 30 years like me, there's your tip for tonight. The phone's ringing, it's dinner rush. Gotta go. See you soon. Okay, part 2 of video 3A, quick tips. Hopefully you're watching in order. If you did, you saw me before the dinner rush. This is clearly after dinner rush. Had a great night, made about 60 pies. Not a bad night. Some a little dirty, but that's okay, that's the fun. If you don't get dirty at home, you're not having enough fun. I think we told you in the first video, you gotta put flour on your nose, do that with the kids. It's fun. But we did our quick tips earlier, before the dinner rush, about how to cut a pizza. A couple quick tips there. That was an 8-slice pie. Maybe when we do start to finish, the next video, we'll cut it into 12, which is what you probably get at your local pizza house. Those were for slices, cutting into 8's easy. So we'll show you how to do 12 next time. But for this quick tip, before we do the start to finish, I've gotten a lot of questions, which is great. Keep them coming. Keep them coming on some troubleshooting on dough. So, want to give you a couple of those now so that when we do start to finish, you got everything in the bag, okay? Now, one thing I got to address. Somebody asked me how many takes we do. Brian, video guy, how many takes we doing?
Just one.
Just one, that's all we do. I made fun of the TikTok guys. If I produce this, I would come off a little bit more polished. We're having fun, want you to have fun. One take. For those of you that know Dave Portnoy, one bite, everyone knows the rules. One take, this is how you make a pizza. All right, here's some tips for you. These are directly from your questions. Get asked this all the time. We actually sell pizza kits here, so that's why we get a lot of these questions. What's a pizza kit? Your local pizza shop hopefully does what we do. They put a dough in a bag, they give you the right amount of sauce, they give you a bag of cheese, there's your pie. Come to Pops, pizza kit, way to go. Here's what everybody asks. Do I use a warm dough or a cold dough? Great question. Every pizza house always likes to cook with at least room temperature dough. It just cooks better, so keep that in mind. There's always gonna be a certain amount of rising in the oven. If it's cold, it's gonna mess with that. Also, at a pizza house, when you're cooking lots of pizzas, it's gonna mess up the temperature of your oven too. So We always cook with room temperature dough, but pluses and minuses for you learning. Let me show you. That's the best way. This is a room temperature dough. So remember spider hands? Watch how quick this goes. Room temperature dough. See how quick that goes? See how big it's getting really quick? Hopefully you've been practicing the last couple of months since we've been doing these videos. Look at that, it's already doubled in size. Already doubled in size. That's what you really want to do, okay? Makes it easier to spin. You need a little bit more flour, a little bit more flour. By the way, any little bubbles, smack them out. If you like bubbles when you cook your pie, they're gonna happen. They're gonna happen in there. This stage, pop them, get rid of them. All right, see how fast that was? Room temperature dough. That's gonna cook better. Now, but for you beginners, you wanna get better at spinning dough, a little bit more comfortable, less margin for error, a cold dough. Look at how slow this goes. You gotta press twice as hard and you can see how much slower the process is. So, for you beginners, put your dough in the fridge. Cool it down. It's a lot more difficult to work with, but for beginners, it gives you that margin for error. So you can see the two. Big difference, all right? So, whatever you're comfortable with, the more you do this, you're gonna want that room temperature dough. Why? Flour it up, you spin it really quick. Once around, you remember that? Look at that, once around. Remember your fists, little refresher. You go around, here's the tip. I'm gonna remind you again, look at your dough. You shouldn't see me right now, why? Because I'm looking at my own dough. I want it nice and even throughout, okay? There's your pie. Now, this cold one, it's good for beginners. It's also good for you guys that want to impress your ladies. I think I told you, how did I score my wife 25 years ago? I got the cold doughs. She's at the front counter. The cold dough. You could spin that all day long. Brian's gonna give you a good shot. You ready? You can spin that all day long. It's cold. It's not going anywhere. Look at it, I'm spinning it. It's not even getting bigger. All right, that's, guys, how you score your lady. All right? So, we'll keep these both here. Now, there's two doughs. 31 years of experience, I can do that without thinking. I still look to make sure I'm spinning it right. What happens, what happens? Other question we get. What happens when you poke a hole through your dough? Don't panic. Don't panic. Here's what you do. That's an ugly tear. It's not even straight. What do? All right. It's an easy fix. Here's where people get in trouble. If you have way too much flour, it's going to be too dry to reseal. If you keep your dough nice and wet, that's oil, that's not going to reseal either. It's kind of have to be like the three bears in the porch. It's got to be just right. Too much flour, it's not going to reseal. Too wet, it's not going to reseal. What you want to do, when you have your little hole, you don't want to bring it together like this. You want to overlap. Okay, if you go like this, it's going to break apart in the oven. You're going to have a big old mess. So flop it over. Brian, hopefully he's got a good angle.
Yep.
Flop it over. Seal it shut. If you want to be certain, it's called an Italian mallet. They're free. 2 come with every pizza maker. There you go. You can see that's sealed. Now I got this oil, which is a mess, but you can see, I'm gonna pick it up. Look at that. It's sealed right up. You should be able to see it in the camera where I overlapped it. That's gonna be fine in your oven, okay? So don't panic if you make a hole. Now, if you tear the crust, same thing, but you want to overlap it and you want to try to make it, don't lose the pretty factor. Overlap it, try to make it round. Don't smash it as hard. Don't use your Italian mallets until it looks like you got a nice crust. Then go in and maybe punch it down a little bit. Pick it up, all sealed up, okay? Hopefully I'm not making it look easy for you, but it is. If I could teach 6th and 7th, I'd rather say 6th and 7th graders. No, 6 and 7-year-olds that can do this, so you can too. Don't panic. All right, a couple tips for you. Now, the other thing we got asked. What if you don't have a stone and you don't have your pizza peel yet? Get your pizza peel, look cool. Let's pretend you're cooking in a cookie sheet, okay? This is what I suggest you do. We have a nice little oil bottle. Take your cookie sheet, little layer oil. What kind of oil? We use an olive oil, vegetable oil mix. For those of you that are health conscious, you might think, I want to use olive oil. You can do that. Olive oil is delicious. It's delicious with bread. If you have just olive oil on a pizza, you might pick up a note that you're not used to on pizza. So I would suggest maybe use vegetable oil or make your own little blend like we do. All right? All right. Put down some oil. If you don't have a brush, do whatever you want. You could use your hand, Italian silverware, Italian mallet, Italian silverware. I got a groovy brush. Spread it around. Don't be shy with the oil. Don't be shy. Now, don't put so much that you're gonna fry it in the oven. That's gross. Don't do that. This isn't Chicago pizza. This is New York pizza. But put a nice layer down. Put a nice layer down. Now, what you can do, if you want to put a little black pepper down, sure. What I suggest you do, little granulated garlic. Brian's gonna show you how much I use. You don't have to do this. You can go straight with the oil. Little granulated garlic, if you can see that. Nice little coating. Nice little coating. Give you a little kick. Now, we spun this. That's about the pie that if you had a stone you would use. Now, magically, don't rip it too hard because then you'll tear. But if you just kind of give it a little play, that circle is going to go into a square pretty easy. Use your fists, pick it up, right into your cookie sheet. Give you a better view here. If you got to play with it a little bit, that's okay. Just fill it in. So if you got it into a circle, it's gonna work with you. It's gonna work with you. You'll have a couple pieces of crust that are a little thicker. That's okay. That's okay. Everyone has their favorite slice. There you go. That's about the size of most cookie sheets. Now, if you want to be Southern Italian, my grandmother used to remind me, you're not Italian, you're Sicilian. So, for you Sicilians, let's pretend we did this with just a half a dough. This is gonna look funny. Let's pretend you kept your dough small and you put it on half the cookie sheet. Let's take our other dough. See how we can just make that? I didn't spin it as big, so that's what you do at home. Don't spin it as big. You can do that. You can get two doughs in there. This is gonna look a little funny. This is gonna look like a Shar-Pei dog. So just don't spin it as big. You can double your dough. Why do you do that? If you like that Sicilian style pizza, that thick crust, you're gonna put extra sauce. That's how you wanna do it. Again, this is gonna look funny because I spun it too big for you. Double your dough. Now, even better, get yourself a piece of food grade plastic, saran wrap, cover that up, let it sit out on the counter for a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. It's gonna proof, get nice and fluffy, all right? Little trick for you there. Time does wonderful things with dough. Just let it work its magic, and then you'll sauce it up and do all that good stuff. Now, the next video, we're gonna go start to finish. So keep those questions coming. One more question before we go, for the quick hits. You see my shirt. People have asked me, how do I get one of those? All right, Uncle Pete doesn't have a bright line rule. I do. And we kind of apply it across the board. You want a shirt, you gotta wash some dishes at Pop's Pizza. That's how it works. That's how it works. So if you want to buy a shirt, it doesn't work that way. Old school pizza house. We talk about that all the time. Family tradition. Well, what's part of a family tradition? I'm pointing to the sink. You got to get in here. You got to wash some dishes. Happy to give you a shirt. That's the rule. Uncle Pete kind of enforces it. When I'm here, I enforce it. You got to wash some dishes. Some of you want to get to the pizza house. You can earn a shirt. You're going to have to wash at least a couple dishes. All right? Keep those questions coming. Next time, bring your stopwatch. I'll show off. We'll make a pizza. Time me. We'll beat a minute. And I'll give you some tips on how you sauce it properly, how much cheese you want to use so your pizza comes out just right. And then we're gonna close this up with a special episode. But I'm gonna keep that secret for now. If you have any more questions or any more quick tips you want me to address, keep them coming. Maybe we'll do another short video like this on how to help you out. Next time, stopwatch. Talk to you soon.